Chat, we finally did it. We finally installed Path of Exile 2. And I'm going to dive headfirst into the game. Kind of scared to do that. This is kind of all the rage right now, and I'm excited to play it. I'm very excited to play it, though I don't know what class will be best for me. I don't know what class to choose. We have to watch this before we play today. Path of Exile 2 Class Guide. Pick the best one for you by Jor Raptor. I'm worried. I'm worried to dive into the game. I am. Not only am I worried in the sense that I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm also worried in the sense that I feel like it's going to eat up every ounce of my free time in the coming couple of months. That also worries me.
Which class is the best one for you in Path of Exile 2? With the early access for this new ARPG opening up on December 6th, I wanted to go over the available 6 classes, like the Agile Monk and the Witch with her army of undead to help you pick the best one for your playstyle. Thanks to Path of Exile 2 for sponsoring
whatever
the
that
video
one was, I kind of want that, not this one.
For your playstyle. Thanks
Whatever
to Path
this
of Exile
one
2
is.
for sponsoring the video, you can check out the game's early access on Steam.
Is that Monk? Was that one Monk? What one is that?
Before we get into the specific classes, it's good to note that Path of Exile 2 skill system is extremely versatile.
Yeah,
in theory,
it's
any
scary.
character can
it actually makes me scared. But I did like the fact, like he's probably about to literally just say in 2 seconds, I did like the fact that you can, you can merge yourself into different skill trees and kind of have a mixture of 2 different builds. I do like that a lot. I think that's really cool. Chat, what even the hell is this? What the hell is even this, Like, are we dead ass right now? This is actually crazy. Though, I did watch a video on the skills, okay? I did watch a video on the skills. I'm a little bit more comfortable and confident with my abilities to navigate through the skill tree. But still, this is one of the scariest things I think I've ever looked at. You need a PhD to be able to play Path of Exile 2, but I'm studying, okay? I'm trying to study for that PhD.
Your choice of class simply determines your starting point. So if you find yourself torn between 2 classes, there's a high chance you can make a hybrid of the 2 work with some creative thinking.
I like that a lot,
early access opens with 6 classes,
the creativity that you have to kind of build whatever class you want.
With 2 specialized Ascension classes for each, the final release will have 12 fully developed classes and 3 Ascensions for each, so there's a lot more to come. But let's dive into the first class that will be in early access, the Monk. These agile melee fighters use a quarterstaff as their main weapon, and most of their skills focus on the elements of lightning, ice, and wind. Monks also make use of a mechanic called power charges, where killing enemies with certain skills gives you a charge.
I know this is the first one we're looking at. I might do the Monk. I can already tell. You know what I mean? I wish there was a character customization, but who knows, they might add it later. I didn't know that there wasn't, but isn't the different gear that you get throughout the game, doesn't that change the way you look or no? Dude, I might try Monk.
Empowers another skill. So the Killing Palm skill is a melee attack with a short dash that instantly kills any target at low health, which you can see thanks to this mark, to generate a power charge. If you then use the normally short-ranged lightning attack Falling Thunder, it consumes the charge to massively expand the area of effect. Another cool example of skill synergy is the Tempest Bell, which drops a massive, bell on the field that you can hit with attacks to cause powerful shockwaves. If you hit the bell with an elemental attack, the shockwaves will also become imbued with that element, so it synergizes nicely with any shock or ice attacks. The Monk is really mobile too, because while every class has a dodge roll, the Monk also has attacks that include movement, like Whirling Assault, that lets you perform a series of swiping attacks while you move forward.
Do we need to play the Monk class?
Mid-attack, making it both
Watch the other classes first. Every class has ways to do elemental attacks. Okay, bad. Okay, I'm getting a little too ahead. I'm getting a little too excited about the Monk here. A little too ahead of myself.
Yourself. So pick the Monk if you want a very maneuverable melee character who can also dish out a ton of elemental damage. As I mentioned, each class also has 2 Ascendancy classes during early access launch, which are specializations.
This is something I feel high IQ about. I already know about the the skill tree and ascending classes. See, I'm starting to study that PhD required to play the game. It is a PhD requirement, but I'm starting to study it. I'm starting to get good at it. Okay, I'm confident.
The Invoker is more elemental focused and includes the ability to trigger an avatar state to massively increase your elemental damage. The Acolyte gains access to a special resource called Darkness that your Monk can spend to either increase their damage or improve their defenses.
Also, I will say, the locations in this game look phenomenal, okay?
Really want to dip your feet into the dark and occult, then the Witch is the class for you.
Like,
it looks so cool. Shoot out a barrage of bone shards, curse enemies to make them weaker, and even spread negative status effects with the Contagion spell. Her main feature though is being able to summon a bunch of minions to help out in combat, so if you like summoner classes in these types of games, the witch is perfect. Some spells, like Unearth, will summon temporary minions from enemy corpses, which are quick to summon.
I don't know how I feel about
only
summoning
strong in
enemies,
numbers.
though, you
One
know?
cool synergy though is that if an enemy was affected by a status effect,
Like, I would rather be the one doing the damage, not just summoning enemies and chilling in the back, you know?
their corpse will spawn a minion that also applies that debuff. But the real core of your army is made up of permanent minions, who automatically resummon themselves after dying, so you can focus on casting your other spells. These cost a special resource called Spirit, which basically functions like a budget that you can spend on powerful buffs, or in the witch's case, permanent minions. While you have a variety of skeletal warriors you can summon, you also have a spell
I mean, it looks
called
sick. Like, I like that. I think that concept is cool. I would rather be the one ripping the damage, though. I don't want a bunch of minions doing it for me. You know what I mean?
Bind Spectre that allows you to capture the soul of an enemy and use it as a minion. Permanent minions also have a command skill, like being able to detonate other minions who are at low health, so they basically double as extra skills too. The Witch also has access to one of the coolest ascendancy classes in the game, the Infernalist. This allows you to summon a Hellhound that burns nearby enemies, but you can also transform into a literal demon yourself, which increases damage taken, but also massively improves the Witch's damage and cast speed. And you can
That
also
looks
choose to
sick.
become a Blood Mage.
Dude, so the ascensions really do matter then. Like, quite a bit. Okay. That might change. I don't know, dude. Monk still seems so cool. We're 2 classes in. I gotta chill. We're 2 classes in. Of course, the demon form has big tits. That's crazy.
Spending health as well as mana for every spell cast, but
True.
each enemy killed drops life fragments that allow you to heal yourself back up. So you can already see how different these classes are, but the most unique one, and the one I'm personally most excited to try, is the Mercenary.
Yeah,
This
the
crossbow
mercenary chat. We're literally 3 classes in, and I've said I've wanted to play all of them. I do that. This is the one I think looks very intriguing to me too, because he basically has a machine gun. It's a crossbow, but it's basically a machine gun. You guys gotta watch
Wielding
this. You guys
class
gotta watch this.
overwhelms their enemies with a variety of gadgets, firing modes, and ammunition types. You can find crossbows that fire heavy single target bolts like a sniper, a rapid fire like a machine gun, or even shoot a close ranged blast like
You
shotgun.
basically have like a shotgun and a submachine gun, bro. It's insane.
These various firing modes can all be enhanced with elemental ammunition like frost or incendiary. That
Chat,
can
do we play mercenary? Fuck! Dude, maybe this video is making it harder. Maybe this video is making it harder for me to start Path of Exile 2. All of the classes look fucking amazing.
fire frost bolts, leave ice crystals on the ground
dude,
that
he
slow
literally is
enemies
just
that
running around
walk
with a
over
gun,
them.
dude.
Incendiary shots can ignite gas clouds from grenades, and you can set up an ice ball with a frost sniper bolt, then switch to piercing ammo to blow up the ice and deal massive
Chat,
damage.
this game looks like it's going to fry my dopamine receptors and my brain's reward system. I feel like I won't find joy unless I'm playing this game. Maybe that's why that guy yesterday that we saw had 27,000 hours in Path of Exile 1. We were looking at a Reddit thread the other day, and someone had 27,000 hours in Path of Exile 1. Chat, is that about to be me?
So, as you can see, the Mercenary really rewards tactical play, and
You can have multiple characters, so just pick one to try out. Oh, yeah. That's like saying you can have multiple children, so just pick one. It's like, dude, no, I gotta pick the right one. I gotta pick. Oh, you can always just make another children. It doesn't matter if the child you have grows up and becomes a serial killer. You could just try again. Like, yo, if I fuck up with one, it's gonna be a big time consumption. It's gonna not be fun for me to realize after hours of playing with this one character that I made the wrong choice and I should have done a different character instead. It's the same thing. Yes, I'm about to have 15,000 hours watching you play PoE 2K, so get the fuck over here and oil up, bro. Why are you not at my house oiled up? Okay, let's keep watching. Chat, I'm getting too distracted. I'm getting too excited. The thought of playing the game is exciting me so much that it's preventing me from actually playing the game. We gotta get through this video so I can play it.
crossbows can even be modified with a variety of attachments, like launchers that shoot explosive grenades or flashbangs. The Mercenary also has 2 really interesting ascendancy classes, the Witch Hunter and the Gemling Legionnaire. The Witch
Bro, that looks so sick. That is a sick graphic. That guy looks sick as hell.
Hunter increases your defense
Put it at
against
2x
magic
speed.
attacks, but it
Hey, do you need some Family Guy clips off to the side too, Juice? Should I put some Subway Surfer clips? Should I do that as well? It's just a single player League of Legends. Clue, you just gifted 2 subs, so I'm not gonna flame you too hard. I love you to death. Let's lock in, okay? Let's lock in and not say something like that ever again. Do you understand me?
And while it's a bit more complicated, I expect the Gemling Legionnaire to have a ton of potential. It basically allows you to equip more active skills and more support gems to modify those skills, while also giving you buffs for each of those gems you have slotted. Now maybe you're looking for something a bit more traditional, and if that's the case, look no further than the Warrior.
Now the Warrior is the one I will say that I definitely don't want to play as. I definitely don't want to play as the Warrior. The Warrior basically is just your typical tanky build. Nothing bad about that, but I think compared to the other classes, it is significantly the least interesting one to me. This game looks too good to pass up. Dude, from all of the research I've done, because I've done extensive amounts of research on whether I should play this game or not. You guys know, we've been talking about it together for the last week on stream. I've done an extensive amount of research on this, okay? And every time I look into it, I get more and more and more excited. I get harder and harder and harder. But it's one of those games where it's like, I don't want to play it, not because it doesn't look good, not because there's aspects that I don't want to do, because it looks too good. Because I know that with what I have on my plate in my life right now, where I'm not able to just be a full-time gamer, every time I'm doing something that is not playing Path of Exile 2, I can already tell I'm just gonna be thinking about it. I'm gonna be longing for it. I'm gonna be lusting for it, chat. I'm gonna be wanting to play it instead of whatever else I am doing. And I don't know if I can do that in my life right now, but we're going to. We're starting the game today after this video. Warrior is the worst class, everyone agrees.
These are more than just a cosmetic and a stat, by the way, as you can raise your shield at any time to block all frontal.
I mean, it looks like beneficial, but it's like dude, oh, you can either be literally summoning the devil himself, shooting a fully automatic crossbow, changing that crossbow to an SMG crossbow or a fucking shotgun crossbow, or you could be a monk with a dope-ass staff fucking casting spells and using the power of wind itself, or you can have a shield. I don't know anything about the game, so please don't flame me if that's completely inaccurate, but from what I've seen, that's kind of what it seems like.
You also have a variety of war cries, like one that buffs the next slam attack with an extra aftershock, or one that marks nearby enemies, which means they'll blow up on death. And if you really want to go all out, you might want to have a look at the passive skill tree and pick up the Giant's Blood passive. This allows you to wield two-handed weapons in one hand, so you can use a two-handed weapon.
I did hear that that was OP as hell. Instead of having a shield, you have two weapons.
It also doubles the stat requirements of every weapon though, so there is a trade-off. Two ascendancy classes are the Warbringer and the Titan. Warbringers allow you to summon ancestral spirits to help you in battle or encase your body in jade to tank incoming damage. The Titan is a full-on bruiser, giving every slam attack a chance to trigger an aftershock, increasing the stun damage of your attacks and increasing your damage against stunned enemies. Now let's look at a class with a bit more finesse, which is the Ranger. Like the Mercenary, it's a ranged class, this time using a regular bow, and it trades raw firepower for more maneuverability, as the Ranger can fire any basic arrow attack while moving. You also have a wide array of elemental attacks, including shock arrows that can bounce between enemies.
I feel like the Ranger looks like a mine. The Ranger looks like a less cool mercenary though. Like the Mercenary's crossbow looks way better than this traditional bow and arrow. You know? Like I feel like if you wanted to be the Ranger, you should just be the Mercenary instead. It's a better Ranger. That's what it looks like. Off of the 5 seconds that I've watched so far, chat, I just had to pause the video and say that. I had to give you guys my input after looking at 5 total seconds of this class. My dumb ass decided to pause the video and say that, acting like I knew what I was talking about. I'm gonna keep on watching. That was just so stupid for me to do.
And explode when another shock arrow bounces off of them. Ice is of course useful for slowing enemies down and getting yourself out of danger, like Frost Escape, which includes a large leap backwards. And as a Ranger, you also get to invest in poison damage and get a little help from Mother Nature. You can place special plants that latch onto nearby enemies, slowing them down, and also spreading any poison stacks you apply to the plant to linked enemies. You also have attacks that require some thinking or skill, like Snipe, which is a shot that needs to be drawn and released, but if you hit the perfect timing on the release, you'll deal a guaranteed critical hit. If you want to focus on the sharpshooting aspect of the class even more, then the Deadeye Ascension is the way to go.
Do you see an area like this in Diablo? The answer is no. There are not areas in Diablo that look like this. Every area that I went to in Diablo looked the exact same. I've seen so many diverse locations in this 11-minute video showcasing gameplay and classes to me, far more than the entirety of Diablo 4.
It adds an extra projectile to any of your skills, increases movement speed while hitting enemies.
That one looks
and it
pretty
makes
cool,
sure
but I
your
think it's
arrows
the first
never
three I'm
miss,
still
meaning
debating
investing
between.
in the accuracy stat is no longer required. For a more unique twist to the class, you can pick the Pathfinder Ascension. Next to being able to spread poison between enemies, the Pathfinder also has access to a variety of dangerous concoctions that they can throw at enemies. Beware though, these concoctions take charges from your healing and mana flasks, so you need to pay close attention to your resources when playing this class. And finally, the 6th available class in early access is the Sorceress, an elemental mage that has access to a wide variety of frost, shock and fire spells. These elements can enhance each other as well, like a firewall enhancing any lightning bolts that pass through it with extra damage, or you can go completely all out with Mana Tempest. This creates an area which drains your mana, but also empowers all spells cast while inside the zone. The Sorceress also has access to powerful trigger gems, which allow you to cast certain spells for free after a certain trigger. So for example, you can use the Shock Trigger gem to drop the powerful common spell for free
now I'm
after
torn between
shocking a
4 of
certain
the
number
6
of
classes.
enemies.
Chat,
Now the
help.
Sorceress is not
Help.
the strongest defensive class, and
Does
while
this game
spells
have
like
a battle pass? Does this game have skill-based matchmaking? Maybe? Maybe SBMM?
Ice Nova can help you get out of danger, you need to take survivability into
I'd go with
account
Monk
by
if I were
equipping
me.
Arctic Armor, for example.
Okay.
Like the Witch's permanent summons, Arctic Armor is a buff that takes up Spirit, which means that the effect stays active
This
as long
looks
as
sick,
you have
though.
it equipped. It forms these icy shards around the Sorceress when she stands still, which then freeze enemies that attack her. Also good to note is that the Sorceress's weapons, like staffs, come with a free spell, so you can keep casting even if you run out of mana. Sometimes this spell is a simple fireball projectile, but other times it can be a more supportive ability like Unleash, which triple casts your next spell. And if you want to lean even more into elemental mastery, then the Stormweaver Ascendancy class has everything you need, from summoning elemental storms on a crit to converting other damage types to shock damage. If you want a specialization that helps with surviving, then the Chronomancer will allow you to stop time, jump yourself back in time and reset your health and mana,
Chat,
and even
you're
reset
time
all your current
jumping?
cooldowns with Time Snap. Thanks again to
What?
Path of Exile 2 for sponsoring the video. Remember to check out the game.
Oh my chat, this was worse for me to do. This was worse for me to watch before starting the game, because now I don't know what class to pick. We're gonna do a wheel picker. Jor Raptor, absolute goated video. Thank you for the video. Alright, Mercenary, Monk, or Sorcerer. We're gonna cut the Witch out. I think that's fine. Whichever one gets picked 3 times is what we're going with. So Mercenary, I already got one, W. I'm letting fate decide. Okay, Mercenary has 2. Chat, we might see the direction that this is going in. Yo, is it just gonna be red every single time? Now Monk has 1. Alright, if this goes red again, chat, I'm letting chat decide. Mercenary it is, chat. Mercenary it is. Let us lock in, chat. Path of Exile 2.